Cincinnati Bengals versus Miami Dolphins reaction. Look, the Bengals Dolphins instant reaction for me was that this was a big character game for the Miami Dolphins, a young team, one of the three youngest teams in the NFL. Huge game, and I'll tell you why I like this quite a bit for the Miami Dolphins. Now, the first half, it looked kind of ugly. It looked kind of slow. You got to credit the Cincinnati Bengals, but also Miami. Look, you're a 7-4 team coming in here. They basically, the only thing they did is they let Tyler Boyd kind of go up the sideline and get that touchdown. By the way, Boyd gets ejected. A bunch of players get ejected after, was it Marcus Johnson? Somebody just kept nailing the guy trying to catch the ball for the Miami Dolphins. Flores, I can see why the players from Miami respond so well to him. He comes kind of on the field. I wouldn't say he was inciting violence or anything like that, but kind of coming on the field screaming. But the thing is, you can't really do that. I'm sure he's going to be fined by the NFL. I don't really have any problem with the Miami Dolphins coming out and coming to their players' defense. Devontae Parker, I wish he would be a little bit smarter. He's too important for this Miami Dolphins team to be kind of let go. Matt Collins, he can get kicked out. But, the game is chippy. I don't really want to talk about it anymore. Let me talk about the Miami Dolphins here. For a young team to come out when it's not going well, and of course the Miami Dolphins are favored in this game, and everybody thinks the 7-4 team is going to beat the 2-8-1 team, and it's not going to be hard. Well, the Cincinnati Bengals are winning for a large portion of this game, and to go into halftime and to come out and to respond the way they did, the defense absolutely locks down the Cincinnati Bengals. The offense and Tua Tagovailoa keep going, basically keep getting the yardage that they need. They put the ball in the end zone, I think, a couple of times. I don't like that Gaskin. I know it's his first game back. I don't like that he fumbled, late in a game on a big gain. Don't like that one bit. However, you got to give credit. The Miami Dolphins, to me, this was a must-win game. I'm going to go over their schedule and talk about the playoff scenario and why Miami, this was such an important victory. And not only that, but to me, based on what they did in the second half, coming out and executing and do what they were going to do, they just came out like a new team. That is a big growth, growth spurt, I guess, mentally for this Miami Dolphins team. And they need that as they build towards the future. Let me read the stats to you first. People like the stats. Some people hate the stats because, they think it's a bunch of fantasy football geek. But it's important to go through the stats. And stats, by the way, do tell you a little bit about the way the teams are playing as well. It does go into analytics, so they are somewhat important. Tua goes 26 of 39, 296 yards and a touchdown. No interceptions again. Great. He's a leader, and you know what? Going through, what I really like about him is he gives his players chances to catch the ball. You see a lot of quarterbacks, they'll try to dink and dunk. If a player looks kind of covered and it might be a little bit of a tough window, maybe he won't take the reception that a veteran quarterback will, and he'll go and he'll dump the ball down to the running back and take the 2 yards rather than go for the completion. Tua is not that. And to me, mentally, he's a mature quarterback. Now, he's going to get better. I don't think he's as efficient, certainly as he will be. I think next year is the year he'll really take the step forward. But I like what I see from him because it's not often that you'll get a quarterback, on the goal line or whatever. He'll look, the player is relatively, the receiver like a Devontae Parker is relatively covered, or Gasicki, we saw that a couple times. He'll just throw it up. And I love the way that this Miami Dolphins team uses tight ends as well. They're talented. They're just young and a little bit immature. The run game still concerns me a little bit, but Gaskin does go over 4 yards per carry, gives you 21 for 90, 4.3 yards per carry, adds another 2 receptions for 51 yards. I will say he did have that fumble as well, which is a bummer, but still very nice. It was a nice day for him in his first action back from the injured reserve. Gesicki, 9 receptions, 88 yards, and a touchdown. You get Jakeem Grant, 2 receptions, 42 yards, and also after getting hit, incites that big brawl. Not him; he didn't incite it, but the action on him did. Devontae Parker wasn't having a great game, but still impactful because he impacts everything just by being on the field. 4 receptions, 35 yards. I look at the Bengals, meanwhile. Boyd had that long, I think it was a 72-yard. Most of it was runs up the sideline. 1 reception, 72 yards, and a touchdown. Basically, they locked him down. They just didn't tackle him on that one play. T. Higgins gets you 5 receptions, 56 yards on 7 targets. A.J. Green is slowly disappearing. 1 target, no receptions. At some point, you got to figure A.J. Green's going to go somewhere else. I would like to see him on a contending team actually contributing again. But Gio Bernard gets you 12 carries, 30 yards, no touchdowns. The Miami Dolphins defense, stepped up. They did what they tend to do, and the Miami Dolphins defense figured it out in the second half. Didn't get frustrated. didn't, make a bad situation worse progressively just by kind of digging in and turning one mistake into 2 and 3 and 4. The Miami Dolphins came out. They did what they had to do. They stayed patient. They showed the patience of a mature veteran team, even though they're young. Very good win, character building win, maturity building win for the Miami Dolphins. Now let's talk about the playoffs. Why did I think that was a must win? Well, first of all, you have the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, and the Indianapolis Colts. Now, you got to think that the Miami Dolphins probably aren't going to win the division, but hey, Buffalo has a tough close to the schedule, and Miami and Buffalo play. They're only one game behind Buffalo, and we'll see what happens on Monday Night Football. The San Francisco 49ers are a huge trap game. It's possible that their record evens up. So don't count the Miami Dolphins out of the division just yet, but let's just assume they're playing playoffs just for the purposes of this video. Next week, they host the Chiefs. Miami Dolphins fans, comment below. What do you think is going to happen in that game? My personal opinion, I think they're going to lose that game. Then they host the Patriots. That might be a must-win for them as they move forward. That Dolphins-Raiders game, if they win that game, the Dolphins, I do believe, are in the playoffs. So even if they drop a Patriots game, even if they drop the Chiefs game, if they can beat the Las Vegas Raiders and have that head-to-head matchup victory there, that's a big one. But then they play the Bills to close out the season. So it's not outside the realm of possibility that in these last 4 games, they finished 3-1. They play 3 very good teams, and they might I think they'll be favored in the Dolphins game. I think they'll be favored in the Raiders game. They'll be favored in the Patriots and Raiders games. But that Patriots game concerns me for the Miami Dolphins, so we'll see what happens there. I do believe that they will be the underdogs in the Chiefs and Bills games. So let's just say they go 2-2. And they finish 10-6. Is that enough to get them in? Well, the Baltimore Ravens, the way their schedule closes out at the end of this year, I think the Ravens might win out. They have a couple of huge games against some good teams here, so we'll see. But the Miami Dolphins, they need 10-6. They might need 11-5. I do believe, based on schedule, the Cleveland Browns, Indianapolis Colts, and Tennessee Titans will all finish 11-5. I think the 3 of them will, which would give the Cleveland Brown, one of those 2 AFC South teams won the division. So that would mean either the Colts or the Titans would be the wild card at an 11-5. I do believe that the Cleveland Browns would then have the tiebreaker, head-to-head tiebreaker, because they've beaten both of them. So the Browns would be the 5th seed. Either the Titans or the Colts would be the Browns would be the 5. The Colts or the Titans would be the 6, and Miami's going to be fighting it out for the 7 seed, possibly at 11-5, possibly at 10-6, but there are going to be multiple 10-6 teams. So Miami, if they can beat, and again, I think they'll lose to the Chiefs, if they can beat the Patriots in 2 weeks from now, I believe that's week 15, and if they beat the Las Vegas Raiders, to me, those are 2 must-win games. If they win those 2 games, I believe they can make the playoffs with a 10-6 record, depending on whether or not Baltimore runs the table. So there you go. It's going to be a very interesting season. Great season so far, 8-4 Miami Dolphins. There's a lot of work to do. There you go. What do you think, Dolphins fans? What do you think the record's going to be? Once again, I'll give you the opponents. The opponents in order are at home against the Chiefs, at home against the Patriots, on the road against the Raiders, on the road against the Bills the last quarter of the season. Comment below. Tell me what you think the record will be. Let me know if you'll think they'll be on the playoffs. I'm sure if you're a Dolphins fan, you will. But I want to hear it, and I want to hear why. Thanks for watching. That's my reaction video. We'll be doing some more of these reaction videos in the coming days. Probably no more this evening, although we already did the Tennessee Titans versus Cleveland Browns and the Las Vegas Raiders versus the New York Jets. So check those out. Check out the reactions coming up, and we'll catch you again soon.